Hi, I'm Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming with a little freakout time. And let me tell you, I have surprises that were surprises even for myself. So, let's get into business. I've read 78 books so far this year, and trust me, it was really hard for me to get these together. So, question number one, best book of the year so far, and I have three in here. One of them, I've been looking for it for ages, and I don't know where I put it, and I had it in my house, but I'll show you the cover anyway, and that's the most important one, I believe, for this year. And it's The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is an adult historical fiction about two sisters in France in the Second World War. And the story, at the beginning I was like, okay, it's fine, it's good, it's well written. I really loved the writing style, but then it got to me. You'll hear about it later, but what I can tell you is that one of them is bold and the other one is naive. And they're basically shown as opposites. But I don't want to tell you anything else. It's all their struggles and what happens during, right before, during, and after the war. But it really got to me. Then we have Bitter by Ike Emezi. And they did it again. Every single book I've read by them is a book I've treasured. It's a book that has gotten to my heart. Bitter is accepted to a special school where she can be as creative as she wants. She can paint and share it with other creative people. But there's a lot of magic along the way, and friendships, love, and acceptance. Also, other recognition, like identifying what you have and what you are, and accepting everything you are, and bringing that into success somehow. It's a YA magical realism slash paranormal slash LGBTQIA+. And it's amazing. Amazing. Very well written as usual. And lastly, we have I'm Not a Serial Killer by Dan Wells. This book was recommended to me. It was in the 22 books of 2022 in the 12 books by 12 friends, and it was recommended to me by Siobhan Lewis reads a lot. I was not expecting that at all. John Wayne Cleaver is a serial killer who doesn't want to live up to what he can do. So I cannot tell you anything else, but it's brilliant. It's psychologically speaking, it's incredible. It's perfectly portrays how a serial killer with, not a serial killer, a person with antisocial personality disorder would act and think. I think it was spotless, so easy to listen to. I did listen to the audiobook. It was incredible. I highly recommend it if you're interested in these topics. And it's a YA fictional mystery. Question number two is best sequel. And for that, I have two books. I have White King, Rey Blanco by Juan Gómez Jurado. He's a Spanish writer, and this was the last one in a trilogy with two other companion books. This is an adult thriller that happens in Spain, actually, and it follows Antonia. Antonia Scott is a brilliant, but you have no idea how intelligent she is, a brilliant woman who was involved in an experiment, and let's say she became even more intelligent, but that brought also negative consequences on her mental health. So, and she has a partner who is former policeman, that is John, and John is incredible. John is gay, so there's LGBTQIA plus rep also over here, and John is so cute. And with that, I also finished the series, and Antonia Scott is amazing. I mean, Yeah, it was left open for the possibility of more stories, and I really hope he publishes more stories. And the second one is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is number 3 in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and it's a new adult retelling of The Beauty and the Beast. I liked this book a lot more than number 1 and number 2. There's a lot less sexual arousal and mistaken sexual arousal for love, and there's a lot more political intrigue. I found it quite a lot more interesting. Characters are the development of the characters is incredible. Like none of them are static. They're moving, they're active, they're changing, rethinking themselves. They have flaws. Finally, we see that nobody's perfect. None of them. They all have flaws, and I really loved that part also. It got to me. It surprised me a lot. I felt everything. I was shocked. I felt shock. I felt interest, intrigue. I cried like a baby. And we come to find out in this book that there's LGBTQIA plus rep in this series also. And I love that. Question number 3 is what new release is on your TBR that you haven't read yet, but you want to? And I'm not normally so aware of new releases, but I got this one and I saw it in a local independent bookstore, which I love. And it's The Atlas 6 by Olive Blake. I think it's a YA. As far as I understand it. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's a dark academia. It says, each decade, only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to earn a place in the Alexandrian Society, the foremost secret society in the world. The chosen will secure a life of power and prestige beyond their wildest dreams. But at what cost? Each of the 6 newest recruits has their reasons for accepting the society's elusive invitation, even if it means growing closer than they could have imagined to their most dangerous enemies, or risking unforgivable betrayal from their most trusted allies. They will fight tooth and nail for the right to join the ranks of the Alexandrians, even if it means they won't all survive the year. And the naked cover? Hello. I see this book and I'm immediately attracted to it. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Question number 4. Well, I'm, as I already said, not so aware of new releases because I cannot normally get books so quickly in here, at least in English. But there's one author that I read last year, one book from, and it automatically became an auto buy, and it was Taking Fisher. And they're releasing What Moves the Dead. And I cannot wait. Anything by Taking Fisher makes me automatically be intrigued and cannot wait for this release. Let me know if there are any new releases you think I would love for the second half of the year, because, again, I don't know. Biggest disappointment, question number 5. Well, it was Smilla's Sense of Snow by Peter Berg. And, okay, this is a Danish author, and Smilla's Sense of Snow is a thriller about a crime that was committed towards a boy that was killed, and then there's a woman involved in investigating it that had become a friend of his, and there's a lot happening going on. There's terrorism, and I ended up watching the film because I needed to know what happened, but trust me, I was thinking of DNF in the book from 10% onwards, and I got to 50%. I was like, no, I cannot take this anymore. I just cannot, no way. So yeah, decided not to. I was expecting a lot from it. I was expecting it to be a really, really interesting thriller. I didn't like the writing style. It bored me as hell. And I was still interested in the story and still wanted to know what happened, but not with it. Question number 6, biggest surprise. And for this, I also have 2 books. One is, again, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. As I said, I was not expecting this book to be so good. I was not expecting to be into it that much. I just wanted to continue the series because I want to try and finish a few series this year because I have many ongoing ones. But I was like, okay, more sexual arousal and more sexual desire confused with love, and meh, it's all going to be about people having, you know. But no, it wasn't. Again, the political intrigue, the development of the characters, the plot. I loved everything about this book. And the second one is The Last Keeper by J.V. Hilliard. And this is the first one. This was an arc given to me by Traveling Pages Tours and the author. So thank you so very much for granting me an early copy, an arc of this book. There's a review on my blog. Link to my blog is down below if you want to have a look at it. There's also, I cannot tell you. No, it was amazing. It's an adult fantasy, and it's a story of Dimas, who's a seer, and he was born blind, but he was restored his sight, but his eyes were still white. And he's having certain visions that the sect of seers seem to have been left by the God who illuminates them, who allows them to have visions. And he's the only one who's having visions at the moment, but he does something that goes against their law, so he's expelled. There are many characters. There's a lot going on, but he's having certain visions about an evil character that was a former seer, but he had been expelled from the community for wanting to do forbidden things, and his life story was deleted from the book that keeps everyone's life story, that is the Book of Enlightenment, and he's the only one. Demas is the only one who seems to remember him. And there are a lot of characters, many stories, but I never got confused between them. There's a lot going on. I highly recommend it if you like epic fantasy to read this one. It is self-published, and I'm in love. I gave it 4.6 stars, so 5 to round it up. 7 is new favorite author. Well, I don't have a new favorite author. I mean, I have other by authors that were confirmed this year as T.J. Klune and Akwaeke Emezi, but I'm not sure I have a new favorite. Although this year I read the first book for the Wayward Children series at the recommendation of Sasha from The Wild Sasha. If you don't know her, she'll be linked down below. And I'm in love. I had never read Portal Fantasy, and I was in love. In love. Or if I had, I don't identify it, let's say. But this first book was amazing. I highly recommend following with the other book. That's also great. But the first book was incredible. And I have a feeling that I'm going to like later books even more than this one. So highly recommend it. I think Shannon Maguire is going to be one of my favorite authors, because I'm also interested in reading Middle Game that I haven't been able to buy so far, because dollar is also quite high, so I cannot order it from Amazon. I cannot get books in English here, not that many, and if I can get them, they're expensive, so I'm dying to get Middle Game. But yeah, I think Shannon Maguire is going to be one. Question number 8 is new fictional crush. I don't exactly have crushes, but from what I've read this year so far, there's a character that I love even more than before, that is Asriel from the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. If you haven't read this, Asriel, I absolutely love that character. I would love for a person like that, for being like that. I mean, Asriel. If you know, you know. Question number 9 is new favorite characters. Okay, I have a few. Number 1 is Clara from Clara and the Sun. Clara is an AI, and they're like companions for children, and she's brilliant. Clara is very special. The book is by Kazuo Ishiguro, I believe that's how you say it, and this is a book cover. I listened to it on audiobook. I fell in love with Clara. Clara was the best AI, and she goes to accompany a child who's really sick, and she believes the sun is the cure for every ailment, every illness of the mind and of the body, and she does everything in her power to get the son to help this child. I absolutely love her. It's a very special AI because she sees everything that nobody else sees so clearly. You have to read it. It's classified as dystopia, sci-fi, and literary fiction, and it says it's adult. Then, from the interview with the vampire, well, not from that book, from the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice, that I'm doing a read-along with Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction. I'll also link her down below. We're doing a read-along, and there are like 14 books. We are about to read book number 5, one book every couple of months. And from that, I love 2 characters. Armand, that is a really ruthless vampire. This is an adult paranormal historical fiction about a group of vampires. Mainly, our main characters throughout the series is Lestat, the vampire. But then, I love Armand. And David Talbot from the series. David Talbot is an old man. If you have read it, if you have read the 4th book, you will know why I'm doing this. An old man who's in charge of the Talamasca. That's an organization that investigates all paranormal activities and beings and registers them, and love them. I cannot tell you anything else about them, but the characters are properly developed, in depth, and I really, really loved them for completely different reasons. David is humble and has a good heart, whereas Armand is quite the opposite. And I think that's what I like about them. I mean, they're like opposite sides of the same coin. Then, as I already mentioned, I am not a serial killer. John Wayne Cleaver is... I mean, I don't love them I love the character, but it was so well done, psychologically speaking. And I'm into psychology. I just finished my degree. I'm writing, I still have to graduate because I'm writing my thesis, but it's amazing. You have to read that to understand. But if you know anything from psychology, like what he does, if you like series like Dexter, you're going to love this book. And I loved like how he thought about himself and about others, and it was spotless, amazingly done. And lastly, my favorite character of the year is Isabel from The Nightingale. I felt so close to Isabel. I felt I felt naked. I was scared because I think she is exactly like me, or pretty much like me, or as I was before. And I absolutely fell in love. I felt so close to her that whatever happened to her got to me. It was incredible. And that takes me to number 10, book that made me cry. And again, we have A Court of Wings and Ruin and The Nightingale. Because, why not repeating? Oh, these 2 killed me, especially The Nightingale. The Nightingale really got to my heart. It's a favorite book of a couple of friends of mine. Donna from Mom's Book Collection. I will link her Instagram down below, and Pippi, and I will link her Instagram down below too. And they're incredible. They are incredible. 11 is book that made you happy, and I have 2 books in here. Heat Wave by T.J. Klune. This is the last book in the series. You will have to watch my review this coming Thursday. And I mean, again, it's heartwarming, it's beautiful, it's accepting, it has amazing lessons. I love T.J. Klune. But it warms my heart every time, so it always makes me happy. And then we have The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie McKesey. And this book is so beautiful. Look at this also. But it warmed my heart, and it made me really, really happy and cozy. And it's like a book that it's a comfort book now for me. And this is also one of my favorite books of the year. Sorry, I forgot to mention this one before. Then we have Most Beautiful Book. And for this one, there's a book that I don't really have physically, and that's The Last Apothecary by Sarah Penna. That's a YA historical fiction / contemporary that has 2 timelines, and is about witches, a witch in the same place. The main character finds an object that belonged to a witch from other time. Then it's The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie McKessie, and it's stunning. Not only the cover, but the style. I thought it was going to be hard to read, but no, it wasn't. Look at these. It's just incredible. Then we have a gift I had for my birthday that I cannot find either for the life of me. That is Silver in the Wood by Emily Tash, and this is a novella. It's about a wild man that lives in the woods, and then Tobias, who has a boring life and decides to go ahead and go to the woods to find this man that is allegedly dangerous. And there's a lot of natural magic coming from nature, and all the magic of the forest, and highly recommended. And then we have Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon Maguire, and I didn't choose this book because of the cover, although it's beautiful, but I chose it because it's beautifully written. I thought the writing style was whimsical. It helped you feel the characters and the atmosphere even deeper. It got me, it made me jump right into it. It's intriguing, it's And lastly, question number 13 is, what are some books that you want to read by the end of the year? And let me tell you, there are a few. Right before making the video, I decided to update my list of arcs, because I have a list of, like a review tracker. There are 52 books of this. From the 52, one I have already read, and I'm about to record a review, which is great. So that's 51. And 2 of them I'm already reading, but I haven't finished them. So if you didn't count those 2, it would be 49, which is going to be great when I finish them this week. But 51, many of them have been published already. I feel ashamed of myself, honestly. Most of them are from NetGalley, but a couple of them are from Book Sirens. A couple of them are independent, given to me by the authors. And I feel ashamed. It's terrible. I was going to name the 53 books, but I think that would be 52, sorry. But I think that would be, it would make this video huge. So yeah. Just watch my vlogs and my reviews, or my reviews. Watch my reviews every Thursday and you'll see, but yeah, there's a lot. And then, as I want to finish a few series, I would very much love to read these 2. These are the last 2 in the Cemetery of Forgotten book series by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, the one from The Shadow of the Winged. And this is the last book that I started reading, tabbed, and then realized, wait, there are things I'm missing. I should reread the series. And I have just reread the first one, so. And I'm about to continue doing it. I wanted to do a read-along, so if you love this series, let me know if you want to do a read-along for the series, and I would very much love to. But yeah, I want to read this too. Then also by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, we have the Mist trilogy. And this is the 3 books in one, and then Marina by the same author. Then my first Colleen Hoover, I would love to read It Ends With Us. I don't want to read the back, the synopsis, because I want to get into it blind, but oh gosh, I'm intrigued about Colleen Hoover. Then, lastly, Cloud Cuckoo Land. Not lastly, I'm sorry. Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. I started this book. I was absolutely loving it. At that moment, I had to read another one. The Queen of the Dawn for the Vampire Chronicles read-along, the bump-along. And I didn't continue it. And I stopped page 159, but absolutely love this book. So, or at least I was loving it. So, yeah, I'm dying to get to it. Then, as again, I want to finish series. I would love to read number 4 and 5 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Break by Orden. They are The Battle of the Labyrinth, number 4, and The Last Olympian, number 5. And this is a YA adventure series based on Greek mythology, and is the story of the heroes, that they're demigods. And yeah, I absolutely recommend this. It's a middle grade. And let me have a sip of coffee, because this is a lot of talking, let me tell you. Love this. We have Obsidio and Gemina, and they are books 2 and 3 in the Lumina Files by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman. This is a YA dystopian sci-fi book. Okay, serious. Sorry, it fell. Let's say we're not living on Earth anymore, and they're on a spaceship because the planet where they lived, something happened at the planet where they lived that they have to get into a spaceship, and this spaceship is not very nice. Sorry if you're hearing a small motor. I'm not sure if I can call that a motorbike that is passing by. So it's a YA, if I didn't say that, I don't remember. And it's a mixed format. So you have pages like this. And then, let me find, kind of communications. Sorry. Pages like this. I mean, I absolutely love this, the mixed format. And I thought the design was brilliant in the first one, and I have no idea why I haven't continued it. So there you go. I don't have Memento yet, that's why I didn't mention that one. Then, following one of my favorite books of the year, I read Accord of Frost and Starlight. That's book number 4 in the Accord of Songs and Roses series. And then I want to read Accord of Silver Flames. That is the last one in the series so far. So it's a chunker. Let's see if I can make it happen. Then, this year I've been in the mood for buying Witcher books, and I'm actually participating in a readathon called Witchathon. If you want to know about it, I'll link the announcement for the second round down below. That is happening in August. Yes, at the same time than the Magical Readathon. And it's A Secret History of Witches. It's a book I want to read by Louisa Morgan. And I know nothing from it, nothing. So I'll let you know, but it has deckled edges, and against popular belief, I absolutely love deckled edges. Then we have Punch in the Air by Ibiza Boy. And I think it's written in verse, because I heard it's classified as poetry, YA poetry. And it's a realistic fiction, and I believe it's based on a true story. The story of a man who was wrongfully convicted because he was black, for a crime he didn't commit, and he spent nearly his whole life in jail until he was absolved and he got out. But you know, it's like too late when you've lost more than half your life in jail for something you didn't do. And the story, I mean, I feel ashamed. Is terrible that's still happening. That I think you get it, right? Like, because you look a certain way, or because you belong to a certain group, and especially people who have suffered so much at the hands of mainly white people like me. I'm sorry. I'm dying to read this book with respect, but because despite the pain I know I'm going to feel, I think it's necessary that we face the reality and understand the dimensions. I think this book is the most important book from the ones I want to read this year. Then, a book I don't have my hands and I don't know where it is. It's Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the second one in the Nevermore series. And absolutely loved the first one. and there is nevermore. And I highly recommend it. It's a middle grade fantasy adventure story. Sorry, there was a mosquito. Fantasy adventure story about Morrigan, who on her 11th birthday, she's supposed to die, but she's saved by Jupiter North and taken to a different world. But she has to pass certain trials to be able to be allowed to stay, because otherwise if she goes back, she's taken by death. So yeah, that's it from me today. I hope you're having a great month of July. Hope you liked this video. Let me know if there's any of these books that you have read and what you thought of them. If there's any you want to read. If you want to buddy read any of the books I want to read for the second half of the year, I would very much love it. I love buddy reading. And don't forget to click like if you liked the video, and comment. Please, I'm here, love chatting with you. And let me know your answers to the questions in the freakout tag if you want to, or to any of the questions. If you like my videos, click the bell for notifications and subscribe to my channel if you want to. And I'm sending you huge bear hugs. Take care. Bye.